Chapter 12 Grassroots Democracy Part 3 Local Government in Urban Areas. Children, in our earlier chapters, we discussed democracy in general and then studied how it works in rural areas through the Panchayati Raj system. Today, we turn to towns and cities where life is more complex and diverse, and governance also has to be more complex. This chapter is titled Grassroots Democracy, Part 3 Local Government in Urban Areas. Before we go deeper, let us remind ourselves of the big idea. Democracy works best when people actively participate in their own governance. Whether in villages or in cities, the principle is the same. Local people must have a voice in deciding the rules, priorities, and development of their areas. Cities and towns are different from villages because they are larger, more crowded, and filled with people from diverse communities, professions, and cultures. Think of a city like Mumbai or Delhi. In one neighborhood, you may find people speaking Marathi, Gujarati, Bengali, Tamil, or Hindi all living side by side. You may see tall skyscrapers next to small markets, busy roads filled with cars, buses, and autos, and hundreds of services running at the same time. To govern such a place requires careful planning, which is why we have urban local bodies. Urban local bodies are the local governments of cities and towns. They are decentralized, which means instead of all decisions being taken by the central or state government, the people of the city have their own elected institutions to take care of their needs. These bodies look after water supply, drainage, garbage collection, road repairs, street lighting, schools, parks, and many other services. They are also responsible for planning for the city's economic and social development. But just like in villages, this system works only if citizens too play their part. For example, if citizens properly separate their wet and dry waste, garbage collection becomes easier. If they report a leaking pipe quickly, it saves water for the entire community. Participatory democracy means government and people working hand in hand. Now, let us understand the structure of urban local bodies. In India, large cities with a population of more than 10 lakh have a municipal corporation, also called a Mahanagar Nigam. For example, Greater Mumbai Municipal Corporation or the Delhi Municipal Corporation. Medium-sized cities with populations between 1 and 10 lakh have a municipal council, also called a Nagar Palika. Smaller towns have a Nagar Panchayat. Within each city or town, the area is divided into wards, and each ward elects representatives. These representatives form ward committees that look into the problems of their specific area, for example, fixing a broken road, clearing garbage, or arranging health camps. Now let us take some real-life examples. The Madras Corporation, now known as the Greater Chennai Corporation, is the oldest municipal body in India. It was established way back in 1688 by the East India Company, and by 1792 it was given the power to levy municipal taxes. This marked the beginning of organized urban local governance in India. Another example is the Indore Municipal Corporation, which provides a wide range of services: property tax collection, water supply, waste management, trade licenses, marriage certificates, fire services, tree cutting permissions, ambulance and funeral vans, and even mobile toilets. Because of the efficiency of its services and active participation of its citizens, Indore has been declared the cleanest city in India under the Swachh Sarvekshan rankings for 7 years in a row. Citizens played a huge role here. They followed waste segregation rules, participated in cleanliness drives, and cooperated with municipal authorities. This shows us how governance succeeds only when citizens are responsible. Urban local bodies also collect money to run their activities. This money comes from taxes like property tax, water charges, trade licenses, and other service fees. But the money is not enough unless citizens pay their dues honestly and use services responsibly. For example, if citizens delay paying property tax, the municipal corporation cannot repair roads or build parks. Time. So, the relationship between the local body and the people is like a partnership. Both sides must work together. Now, you might wonder, how is urban local government similar or different from rural Panchayati Raj? In both, people elect their representatives. In both, the aim is to solve local problems with local participation. But there are differences too. In villages, issues often revolve around farming, irrigation, or cattle, while in cities, the focus is more on garbage management, traffic, pollution, and housing. Yet, the democratic spirit remains the same. Let us also look at how citizens themselves experience urban democracy. Imagine Anita, a young girl from a city, visiting her grandparents in a village. She tells her friend Samir that life in the city is very different. It is busy, noisy, and people often don't know their neighbors. Samir explains that in his village, everyone knows each other and works together in the fields and festivals. But Anita also recalls that when a house collapsed after heavy rains in her city, dozens of people came forward to help, showing that community spirit exists in cities too, though in a different form. This little conversation reminds us that democracy is not only about institutions, but also about the spirit of cooperation and responsibility among people. Children, now let us summarize what we have learnt. Urban local bodies are decentralized institutions that govern cities and towns. Depending on their population, they may be Nagar Panchayats, municipal councils, or municipal corporations. They are responsible for many important services like water supply, drainage, roads, garbage disposal, and planning. Ward committees help manage smaller areas within cities. Citizens play a vital role by paying taxes, reporting problems, and cooperating with authorities. We also saw examples from Chennai and Indore, which show how history, efficiency, and public participation make urban democracy strong. So, what is the key message of this chapter? Whether in a village or in a city, democracy begins at the grassroots. Governance is not just the job of elected leaders, but also of ordinary citizens. By participating actively, by being responsible, and by respecting diversity, we make our democracy stronger. Urban local bodies may deal with crowded streets, tall buildings, and complex services, but their spirit is the same as a Gram Panchayat in a village: to bring power and responsibility into the hands of the people themselves.